we had Coach Prime, I believe it was yesterday, was talking, and he met with the media. I believe it was yesterday. A question was asked of him, basically on the team through 7 weeks. And what Prime said is, I know where we want to be. I know what we should be. You know what we could be, but I know what we should be. So, again, this was on Tuesday. So he said, I am ecstatic right now with where we are. No. So, right. Am I? No. But I'm not upset either, because I know what we have in that locker room and on this coaching staff. Could we be better? So much. Should we have won several of the games that we lost? Yes. So again, that just that helps with the way things are, right? Like, as fans, we want things to change overnight. We want all of these different, right? We want the team to win, right? Obviously, right? That makes being a fan that much funner, that much better. I don't think funner is a word, but yeah. So, I'm glad that, he does see this. Prime does see this. He is paying attention to all of it, right? There's a lot of conversation about what this team needs to look like and what this team needs to be. So great to hear from Prime, though, on this. So, yeah, just good for him to say. So, and again, I think it does mean a lot, though, for us to be able to, for Prime to be able to say these things. And again, we want things changed in a hurry, and that's just not how this game works. That's not how, it's not how life works. So, real happy with where, the conversations that were had from Prime and what he was able to say. We have Chad say, what up, Manny? Feels like it's been forever since the last Buff game. Yeah, we've been 2 weeks. I mean, geez, 10 days maybe at this point, 11 days. But it's been too long. Bye weeks are never my favorite, right? I mean, as much as we want them, much as we want the team to be healthy and all these things, it's never any fun, though, on Saturdays, right? Like this past Saturday was not nearly as fun watching other teams play while Buffs were on a bye week. But again, it was a much needed bye. Kind of wish it would have been pushed 2 weeks earlier. So yeah, just my opinion on it. So just we're in time to get some players healthy. As you may know, it does sound like Simeon Price and RJ Johnson are going to be a go. Typically, let me double check this, but typically those come out about right now. So let me pull those up, see if we have an injury report for the Buffs right now, because typically they would start to come up right now. Let me see, injury report. Nothing yet. I don't believe. So, yeah, nothing yet. But I would be on the lookout for that, though. The injury report should be coming out. But, again, it does look like RJ Johnson is coming back this week, as well as Simeon Price, running back. So, this team is in a good spot right now. Bye came at a good point, right? They get their other outside cornerback opposite of DJ McKinney. It's been, what was it, Houston? Not even Houston. So Delaware, was it Delaware? It was week 2. So yeah, Delaware, I think, since RJ Johnson has played. So again, this is big news for Colorado. So again, I don't know how much we'll see Makari Vickers, how much we'll see Tam Parks, those guys. But again, this is huge news to get our guy RJ Johnson back. But I have not seen, nothing yet. So we'll see. Yeah, Humble Texan says, I'm so confused. I was so disappointed week after week, loss after loss. I was told we had great coaching and great players, and then was like not coming together on game day, right? Yeah. And again, this team's going to take time. And I think the whole impact that this has, Prime not being there this offseason, again, for obvious reasons and more important reasons, but it makes sense, though. It makes sense where this team's at, right? You lose your leaders, right? There's the block bully was back he was back on campus, had some words to the team, and he's just like, you guys are playing like bitches, and it was like, or practicing like that. You guys aren't working. You're not getting after it. And again, I mean, there's truth in what the block bully was saying. So again, he's there at practice, and hopefully that rubs off on these guys. And again, I think we kind of know which guys we won't see back next year as far as the portal goes. and which guys will, right? Like even right now, we look at it. Can you imagine this defensive line in the future with Alex McPherson, London Merrick, right? Chance, it's our lineman. I'm drawing a blanket. Our freshman D lineman, not Chauncey Gooden. That's our offensive lineman. He was in Georgia. I'm drawing a blank for some reason, but you have that. This defensive line is going to be a problem for the next coming years. And again, there's a lot to look forward to. And again, I think we overlooked Prime not being there this offseason. We overlooked the loss of all the receivers, Shador, Travis, right? Those two especially, right? They set the tone every day. Block Bully, he's gone. Those dudes set the tone. So yeah, it is disappointing. But on the flip side of things, though, right? You look at the team, the combined record of the teams that Colorado has lost to. I don't remember if this was before or after the week, and I kind of counted it up. And I think Kyle Whittingham said something. I'm pretty sure his numbers were off, but they're 30-4. So 30 wins, 4 losses is the combined record of the teams the Buffs have lost to this year, which that's no slouch. That's good. That's a good football teams, right? So, and as we've seen, right, where this has climbed is we have Houston that still looks good, right? And now the Buffs have, outside of one game, they've not gotten blown off the field. They've been in every single game, and outside of that one game at Houston, they should have won every single game. Yeah. Chad does say, GT is still undefeated. Yeah, I believe. Where were they at? Were they still at 12? They might have cracked the top 10. I used to pay attention a ton to the AP poll, this and that, but that thing it's gotten so out of hand, and there's no rhyme or reason or any logic that they use outside of like what school you cover at that point or what conference it is that you're covering, right? So I don't follow as much as I used to. The first, again, I think those two things need to get the coaches poll, AP poll, they just need to go completely away. It's just more for conversation. And we had, what was it at the beginning of the year? There was some, I can't remember her name, but she was like, oh yeah, I just put him here in this. And it was like, no, that's not how this is. You have an AP vote. We can't just put, people pay attention to this. It was like not even taking it seriously. So I just don't think that should be. I think they should just move away from that, because again, that does play a bias, right? And when we see the first college football playoff rankings come out. So again, that's just something to have. But Georgia Tech, heck yeah, they're still undefeated, have not lost. They look like they're about to run away with the ACC. Outside of Miami, but we'll see what that looks like. So very cool. Yeah. Then I feel like the Iowa. I feel like, yeah, it is. Humble Texan says Iowa State was a shock, and now I don't know what to expect this week. Yeah, it really is. And then, even seeing the way that Utah played against BYU this past week was, I expected more out of them. And now, we go back, and I was, I had their schedule pulled up. Let me pull that up again. I thought I had it here, but it was really interesting is though, right after those first couple of weeks, we wanted to, and again, that's the problem, right? We don't know what teams are, especially in the transfer portal day and age that we're in with it, the NIL. It is just so many moving parts where UCLA, man, they look like that they shouldn't even, they look like they belonged right with our, the G5 schools, right? They were getting beat by G5 schools by New Mexico. So, right, paid all that money for New Mexico to go into the Rose Bowl and, beat them. It looks different. And now they fired, they fired their head coach, UCLA, and man, they look great, right? And they have a real opportunity to still win the Big Ten and play for the Big Ten title, which is wild. But yeah, let me see Utah's schedule. They had not beat anybody. The problem I see with them, though, they did beat Arizona State, right? It looks like this huge win, this fantastic, right? What was the score? It was bad. They beat them in Salt Lake 42-10. Sam Levitt didn't play, though, in that game, right? Like they had their backup quarterback playing. And as we've seen this past weekend against Texas Tech, your backup quarterback, right, even with Texas Tech, but Sam Levitt being there, that changes the whole game, right? Your quarterback, right? It's your leader of the team. So I wasn't expecting Utah to look like this. And again, what is cool about the Big 12 is any week, right? Like we don't know what it is. We're still trying to figure these out. And again, and goes back to my point is the AP coaches poll. I'm just not a big fan of them. I just don't think they do anything. But when it's hard to not look at some of these SEC schools that we see them in the top 20, and you're kind of like, what are they? They have no business in there. So we'll see, right? And how much of that is the coaches poll? How much of that is the AP poll? Like, how much of that is influencing and driving it? So, my opinion, it should be wiped away. It does no good. So, I think a college football playoff poll is the only one that should be there. And again, at the end of the day, it's the only one that actually matters at this point. So, but yeah, let's dive into this though. So, Kyle Whittingham though, still in our Ralphie report though, he had which is pretty cool. He had some good comments to say for the Buffs. So what Kyle Whittingham said is, and again, real quick, I want to go back to this. Make sure you guys give our guy Jack Carlo at Sports Illustrated a follow. Go ahead and check. If you just type in Sports Illustrated Jack Carlo, he does a phenomenal job of covering the Colorado Buffaloes. We had him on the show earlier this season. I guess it was preseason, pre-Georgia Tech. It was a Georgia Tech week, actually, one of my first shows. Man, he does a great job. He is up to date on the Buffs. I think Prime even this week offered to take him to dinner. So, and I think Jack, it was on Twitter. Jack reached back out and was just like, yeah, like you named the play. So, man, I hope Jack gets to do that because that's, he's a real good person, real good. He came on the show, was fantastic. So I just want to make sure to shout him out with these as well. So this is from Jack as well, but this is what Kyle Whittingham said at his press conference. This is another guy talking about Salter that runs the ball exceptionally well, and that's one of their best attributes. So, and then he said they've also got a really good red zone offense. They're at 72% red zone touchdown percentage, which is outstanding. They're doing a lot of good. They're doing a lot of good things, but the quarterback game, and this, so again, this is pretty awesome, right? But the quarterback game, whereas the quarterback run game is probably right toward the top of the list of things we need to be concerned with this week. And again, I mean, there is that part of us, right? That's like the Buffs have figured it out, right? They're going to go into Salt Lake and beat them, and it's hard not to feel that way just when you really, really stop, break down the schedule, break down what the off season looked like this past year. It's really hard to say that that's not part of it. And now against Iowa State, they look like they were finding their groove, right? And even the week before against TCU looked like it a little bit, right? We've seen flashes of it. But for the most part in the Iowa State game, we've seen it. We've seen the whole package there, right? So this is just real excited for this game.